Hi, this is Father Louis Skirty, and this is going to be like the summary version of the entire segment, Dora'S Story. We're here at the DeLuca household, and Richard DeLuca is going to show us aspects of the home and the art and the drawings and artistic achievements of Dora. Thank you, and let's keep going.
Hello, Father Lou. Welcome to the DeLuca household.
Thank you very much. It's good being here at the DeLuca household. And the first thing I've noticed is this beautiful, it's your wedding album.
Yes, it is.
And can you describe the dress?
Yes, it's a dress my wife designed and made. She was a dress designer at the time. And it's also been worn subsequently by two of my daughters, I'm happy to say. And since I have 11 granddaughters, I'm assuming one or more of them may wear it. Oh. So I'm hoping to see it worn again before I leave this earth.
That's great. And this was Sacred Heart Church?
Sacred Heart Church.
In Clifton.
In Clifton. That was our parents.
And now we're going to do a very different thing. Being Anne-Marie is such a fashionista, we're going to look at some of Dora's beautiful sketches and, of course, the fully executed dresses. And I'm going to ask Anne-Marie to interview Rich on these beautiful drawings and photos. So you can take it, Anne-Marie and Rich.
Okay. Mr. DeLuca, I see beautiful pictures here of sketches of dresses.
Well, not only sketches, these are actual dresses she built, which models wore to basically promote them to different companies for sale.
Oh, and these dresses were like made ready to wear?
They were made ready to wear.
And they were sold in department stores?
They were sold in department stores. They were sold by direct mail through a catalog.
Oh.
And in fact, they were advertised in Look and Life back in this is, by the way, all between 1953 and 1956.
Oh.
So, by the way, we didn't even know these were here. Mm-hmm. When my wife died, she had a lot of files. I went through them one day, and I found all these photos, showed them to my daughters, and of course, all of us were like, wow.
Yes, but so, you must have known that she was designing clothes.
Well, yes, because I used to go to meet her at her studio, mm-hmm. and so I would see what she was doing. And in fact, on the wall here, there were two sketches of hers, and she made a number of those. Each of my daughters has a couple framed, so we all have pictures of my wife's designs.
And Mrs. DeLuca has formal education in fashion designing?
Well, she went to a fashion design school. It was not for a degree in BS or anything. It was basically a certificate in fashion design. Oh, it's from the predecessor to the Fashion Institute of Technology. Oh. It was called Trapphagen. Oh. That was the name of the school. And that's where she went.
So all these designs, did they appear in magazines, fashion magazines?
They were advertised in Look and Life between 1953 and 1956. And so far as I know, there were at least 42 of them that we have. There may have been others, but I tried to contact the company that actually made them down in South Carolina. Unfortunately, their records were gone, so I couldn't get any additional information. Because I really would like to learn more about how well did they sell, because I know that they were popular, because among other things, our maid of honor, who was her best friend, told me a number of times that they would be going in Manhattan and looking at window stores where they had dresses, and they would see Dora's dresses in those windows.
Is that right?
In Manhattan.
Oh.
So
and I understand she designed their own wedding gown.
Yes. She decided to design a gown that she felt might be useful for successive generations.
Oh,
and
beautiful,
fortunately,
beautiful.
Two of my daughters have worn it.
Oh.
So, and since I have 11 granddaughters, I'm expecting one or two of
Why
them
not?
may wear it.
It will be an honor.
So soon. Oh, yeah.
Rich, can you talk about that?
Yeah. Well, okay. By the way, this is a dress she designed and wore on our honeymoon. That was during our honeymoon in 1955. And that's typical of the kinds of dresses she used to design.
These look like the dresses worn by Lucille Ball.
Literally, they were that again. This is the mid 1950s.
Yes.
This popular was very the style was popular, in fact, our maid of honor told me that she and Dora would just wander after work. They would wander through like Madison or Fifth Avenue, look at all the stores, look at all the window designs from the different companies, and then she would come back to her studio and just put some sketches together. And so she would sort of copy.
She would get
you know,
ideas.
get ideas.
Yes,
Yeah, so
and
that's
then
what she did.
put her own.
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
And so.
Tell us about Fruit of the Loom.
Well, okay. Actually, Fruit of the Loom is a trademark for that they leased it to the company that actually made her dresses and sold them. So it was actually what they call almost like a franchise arrangement.
Yes.
And in fact, I contacted Fruit of the Loom, and what they told me was for that period, they literally had no information, so they weren't able to help me. But ultimately, I found the firm down in South Carolina, which actually bought the designs, produced the dresses, and then marketed them. And they did send me some additional information, some of which is here, by the way. So, yeah, it was interesting because for her to do over 40 designs that were actually being sold in 3 years, that's pretty remarkable production for anybody as a designer. At least that's what I've been told. By the way, of course, I showed some of these to a woman, a much younger woman, who was very active in that field. And she said these designs, a lot of the features of these are still being used today.
Oh, yes, definitely, Mr.
Yeah.
Duca.
She said
In
this
fact,
is,
some of these designs are really, literally coming back
I know.
in the 21st century. So,
Yeah, here we go.
so
So hopefully she's happy seeing these.
God bless her.
Yeah, she was, see, that's the Fruit of the Loom logo there.
This has been a wonderful experience, Dick. I really
Well, thank you very much.
This is a great way to summarize the whole story,
Right.
the love story.
Well, and remember that,
The love story between you and Dora.
and the basis for that also is in that that painting you have behind you of a mother and child, which we bought maybe like when she was pregnant with our first child. This photo right here. That photo.
Can you talk about this painting?
Yeah. Well, Dora and I, as you can see, we like art. So
Yes.
we used to go to the village where there were these galleries for buying, which bought art from new artists. And we spotted this, and right away, it was, by the way, it's a guy named Monet, but nobody famous. In fact, I've never really checked it out to see if he ever went anywhere, but we found this so beautiful that we said, this has to be the center of our house. And here it is, 60 years later, this is it. So, in fact, one of my daughters said she definitely wants this.
Someday.
Someday.
Don't rush it, kid.
Right, someday.
Thank you very much for joining us and for showing us around the house. And
It's been my
beautiful
pleasure.
art, pictures of your family, and this has been wonderful, Rich. I really, really appreciate it. And we hope that our friends of the Word who watch this and listen to it will appreciate it as well.
Well, thank you very much, Juan.
This has been a great opportunity visiting you and your household and all the wonderful art of Dora DeLuca.